Hello and welcome to Janssen Books and Everything Fine. My name is Nina. I'm coming to you from the Ruhr area here in Germany. It's been quite a while since I last podcasted. I think around 1.5 years ago I did the last podcast. Life got a bit stressful, a lot of work to do and some health difficulties. Nothing bad but it was too much to think about other things, despite reading books, knitting and such things, but podcasting wasn't a top priority on my list, so it got a bit on hold. For this year I decided I would like to restart my podcast, so here I am again. And this is episode 1 of 2020. Today is January 5th. It's a grey and a bit rainy Sunday here in the Ruhr area. Not sunny, rainy. Sorry, it's a bit of grey and rainy here in the Ruhr area, and that's just the perfect day, isn't it, for recording the first podcast? There's nothing else to do despite reading or knitting, so why not? At the beginning, this podcast will probably contain advertising, as I will show you yarns and other goodies and patterns and so on. But everything is self-bought, or I got them as presents, for example for Christmas, so I'm not paid for it and I'm not sponsored, and everything is just what I think about these things. That's for now. I decided to just redesign how I do this podcast. I will do the Yarny podcast, so this podcast here, in English, because English is my crafting language. I watch podcasts in English, and I can understand the patterns better when they are in English, so most of my patterns and pattern books are in English. It's just the language I'm crafting in, so this will be an English speaking podcast. I will record the book episodes extra. They will be mostly in German, because most of my books are in German, but when I've read an English speaking book, I might talk about it in English, because everything I read was in English, so the words in my brain are in English too when they are for this book. So, and everything else, just as it happens to be. I don't know if there will much else than yarny things and crafty things and books, but maybe some gardening or flowers or something to cook or to bake. Who knows what my brain thinks is podcast worthy, so I will decide when I do this. I got a new hairstyle, a bit of an undercut. Here you can see it a bit better, because I put up my hair on this side. It's 2, but I'm having open hair here, so I got this haircut last September, but last week, when I restarted work for this year, it was a bit funny, because I had this hairdo and everyone on work said, "Oh, you got a new hairstyle." No, sorry, this is my hairstyle since September. So I think I always had my hair down, so they couldn't see that I had an undercut, but they liked it, so everything's fine. Also, a thing I restarted is doing my makeup. also what I mean when I say I did my makeup. I dislike primer and foundation and everything, but I did some eyeshadow and mascara and lipstick and a bit of rouge, so that's what I like. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes less, but I did it for the first time since a year on Christmas Day, and I really liked it, so I restarted with it. Okay, I choose a new setting, as you can see. I have Marilyn Monroe in the background now. It's a beautiful picture I got when I moved into my flat, so she's overlooking my living area since then, and now she's in the background of this podcast. And my trusty stuffed toy, my little toady mouse, is also here, as you can see. Yeah, that's around this podcast. I have to take a little sip of coffee, sorry. Authentic witch's brew. Brewed in hell. It's just ordinary coffee. Nothing special. Oh no, I got some lipstick on my cup. So that's a thing that happens when you wear lipstick, yeah, right? Okay, so maybe a bit on my crafty year 2019. Last year I did a lot of knitting from, as I think, but it was a bit different than the years before. I knit a lot of socks. I tried a lot of new things, and I changed my buying habits for yarn and crafty things. And I visited some crafty and yarny festivals. So that's the main things for 2019. First thing for 2019 was I did a New Year's resolution, something I never do, but this was something especially for the crafty side of this hobby. My resolution was not to buy outside the European Union and Germany. Yes, it's just because my customs service office was really unfriendly in 2018. The people there working there were really unfriendly. I'm not sure what was the problem with them, if they only had bad days, or I don't know. And it's more than 2.5 hours to go there and go back, and all the waiting time I have to do there. So and they have just limited opening hours, and it was way too much to just get one package with 2 skeins of yarn. So yeah, I decided this resolution, and it was very successful. I really only bought things here in the European Union, and especially in Germany. Sometimes my heart was bleeding when I saw all the beautiful yarns especially from the US or other places around the world, but I always found something else to make me happy, so it was fine. Then the next thing is that I personally learned that I'm more organized in crafting, or especially knitting, when I'm challenged. So I did a lot of knit-alongs and challenged myself to try new techniques and learn new things. And yeah, that went really fine. I learned quite a lot of new things, and I tried a lot of new things. Some were successful, some weren't that successful, and I will tackle them this year again. So we'll see how this works out for this year. So, but all the things for the new year for 2020, I will talk about later. It's 2019 still, yeah. Mm. So, yes. I've been to 3 crafty and yarn festivals. I was at the Creativa in Dortmund, which is a crafty festival with all the crafts you can imagine. Also yarns and knitting, but all other techniques too. So many, everything you can think of. And it was fun there, but it was so full of people, so many people, and yeah, I don't think that I will be going this year. It was a bit too much for me, so maybe I just wait for some years until I tackle this event again. Who knows? Who knows? And then there was a new yarn festival, which was organized from a hand dyer in Duisburg, which is a neighboring town from Essen and where I live. And its name is Kielgehold. It's a marine reference or pirate reference, however you may call it, and it was just a beautiful place, but a bit small for all the people that went there. It really was loved for the first time because it was so good to reach, and for all around and yeah, so many nice people there, and so many nice hand dyers and other things to look at. And there will be a second festival this year. Kielgehold will be done again, but in a new place, the Landschaftspark Duisburg. It's an old industrial place, which got rebuilt as a park, and it's perfect, I think, for this theme, and for we are really excited to be there. And the third yarn festival was a yarn festival in Düsseldorf. It was my second time there, and I really loved it again, because I had a nice knitting friend with me, and we met a lot of other people that we know and are from our knitting group, and met new people, and we bought some nice yarns and other goodies, and yeah, it was a really nice day there. And this will be one of the events I'm visiting this year too. It will be the third time this year that I'm going there. I already have the tickets, so yes, it's on my knitting plan list, however, for this year. Yes, these were the events or crafty festivals, yarn festivals I did last year. I've been a regular member of our knitting group. We are meeting once a month, and it's always fun, and yeah, nice people there, good coffee and cakes, and yeah, just fun. We do a secret Santa in December, about which I will talk later. But it's always fun. So yeah, just a great event. Okay, I will show you some of the things I've knit last year. Um, Sometimes I can tell you a bit about the yarn I used, but I don't have all the text from the yarns, and so they I just have to show you what I've knit, and some of the things I tried to knit I will show you too, and yeah. Okay, first this, oh yeah, what I forgot, sorry. You can find me as Mikea Luna on Instagram and Ravelry. I made myself a tag for the Yarn Festival in Düsseldorf, so this is it. I'm not sure if you can read it, but I will write it down below this video in the notes. My name is Nina, and my Ravelry or Instagram name is Mikea Luna, and this I've been wearing when I've been at the Yarn Festival, so yeah. Other things that I got for myself are some sock boards, but I'm really not sure if they work for me. Maybe I'm not sure. I got them, and sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't use them. Mostly I don't use them, but they are beautiful. So this is there are always two of them. So this is one. This is a small size. Then I got these two. This is the medium size, and I got this one. This is the large size, but I'm not sure if they work for me. Perhaps I just need to use them and to get accustomed to them. I'm not sure. They are beautiful, that's not the problem, but I think maybe it's just that I'm not used to them. Then I got me a whole bunch of stitch markers. I'm mostly using these right now. I have beautiful handmade stitch markers, some that I bought and some that I made myself. But I think these safety pins are just beautiful, easy to use, colorful, and plenty of them. So these are my most used stitch markers from 2019, and I think they will be the most used stitch markers in 2022. And then I got me a nice, beautiful and sharp small scissor. Just beautiful, metallic, rainbow colored, and it's very handy. So yeah, I think these were the goodies I got for help me knitting. I also got some new project bags, but they were too many to gather them for today for now, so I won't show them to you, but in between these episodes, when I show you my whips or finished objects, I will show you also the project bags that I use, so and I will tell you a bit about them. So let's get right into all the things I did last year. Okay, I've knit this pair of socks, bright and colorful. I'm really not sure how the pattern's called. It was from the Little Box of Socks by Charlene Church, and I'm not sure how the other author's called. Charlene Church, and yeah, I'm not sure. So I made this pair of socks from yarn by Blue Moon Fiber Arts, Socks That Rock, in the colorway Electric Cool 8 Easy Test. It's 100% superwash merino lightweight, 370 meters on 155 grams. This is all the rest of the yarn that I have. I'm not sure what to do with it. Maybe I get an idea later on, but these are the socks that I made with this beautiful patterning, and they are just as I thought they might be. Then I did a pair of socks for my boyfriend with this colorway. It's online Super Soccer 4-ply platin color. And they have some really cool colors. I got myself the same yarn with purple instead of the bright green, so, or neon green. So there will be another pair for me. That's left from the socks. I can't show you the socks because my boyfriend owns them already. Then I did this beautiful scarf or shawl with an paillette yarn held together with the merino yarn I used for this. I really am not sure which yarn this is. I haven't the text anymore, but they are three colors: the red, the black, and the rainbow color, and a copper paillette yarn which I held together with the merino yarn. Just a small beautiful shawl which I wear a lot, to be honest. Then I had a cotton yarn for the summer. This is a perfect little scarf, and because it's really cool, it was fun to knit. Nothing special. Then I tried some stranded knitting. I did the set with dark gray and green. It's a zigzag hat, and it was just fun to knit. It was meant to be done with more colors than just these two, but I think it worked. The yarns I used were Lang Yarns Merino 120 and Lang Yarns Stockholm. This is all I've got from the yarns. The grey I used until nothing was left, and this is just a little bit of the green yarn. And then next, oh yes, this was the yarn I also used for the 3-colored shawl with the paillette yarn. This is the rest I used for a hat for my boyfriend. I made him the Jacques Cousteau hat, as he wished for a fisherman's hat, and I did it in this dark marine blue. So yeah, it's the same yarn I used. It's from Rico Design, Essential Merino Decay. It's the same yarn I used for my shawl. Then next Quiet Folly Socks by Heidi Allender. This is the pattern I used. And these are the socks I knit. It's with glitter. I know it's by Lana Grossa and the sock yarn line is Meilenweit Glammy, but I don't have the tag, so I can't show it to you. This is all I've got from the yarn, left from the yarn. I also made a dress for Toli. She wished for it for New Year's Eve, so I did it for her. Just one repeat of all the colors for this dress. So yeah, back again. So, what next? Then I did the Jorge Fall Call for 2019 by Jorge Locatelli. I tried to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns. I did finish 4. One of them was the Field of Wildflowers hat. Here it is. For this I tried doing cables without a cable needle, which was fun and worked very good. And really beautiful hat, as you can see. I used a yarn by River Knits and Baby Longlegs in the colorway Mad as a Hatter. It's 100% blue-faced lace de wool, 100 gram and 275 meters. It's a sport weight yarn. And this is all I've got left from the yarn, so a lot. I'm not sure what to do with it. I will find a good use for it. Next thing I did was the Retreat curl. This pattern. And this curl I'm wearing a lot. It's really, really beautiful. It's warm and soft and just perfect. Here's where I knit it together on the back side. So I used Malabrigo Rastita, which I got as a as a present for Fibershare from my Fibershare partner. It's a colorway Glitter 48. This is how much I've got left of the yarn, and it's just perfect, as I think. Then the third thing I've knit is the Upper East Side hat. It looks like this. It's a bit thicker than the Field of Wildflowers hat, and from Colder Days. That's just lovely too. I used this yarn by River Knits. It's BFL DK in the colorway Rust. It's 100% blue-faced Leicester superwash yarn, 100 gram, 225 meters. And this is how much I've left from the yarn. Again, quite a lot. The first thing I've knit for the Carl are these socks. These are the Chapelka socks. this yarn by Schachenmeier, Regia Premium Silk 4-ply. It's very soft and just very luxurious. I also did this for October. Perfect. I love them. Just very soft and luxurious and beautiful. So yeah. And I did a pair of fingerless mitts for my boyfriend. I held this sock yarn double, just some blacks and grays. It's by Butinette Wollbutt, the colorway Hamburg. He got them as a present, so I can't show you the finished object, but he loved them a lot, and yeah, they are great or highly appreciated because he always has cold hands, so they were really needed, and yeah, he liked them. So these are the finished objects from last year that I want to show you. I've knit way more, but these were some of the things I wish to show to you because they are beautiful or had some special techniques I learned and so on. The fifth object, the object I didn't finish for the Hochvolker, is a pullover. I got this far. I tried to knit the umbrella sweater. I nearly finished the yoke, the color yoke. My main problem with this is that I'm about to start the stockinette part, which is all head in this grey, just a beautiful grey, but stockinette is such a boring thing to knit, in my opinion. So one of the things I wish to do is finish this beautiful sweater so that I can wear it. I got the yarn. These are all the 3 colors I got at the Yarn Festival in Düsseldorf from Fabula Rasa, which is a hand dyer here from Germany. This is just some sock yarn, perfect for this pullover, and I think the colors are just perfect together, but I still need to tackle it. So yeah, just a small failure, isn't it? Yeah, I have to try it again. The year before, in 2018, I've knit myself a pair of Christmas socks. These here. The sock yarn is from West Yorkshire Spinners. They're Fairy Lights colorway with I'm not sure how this red is called, maybe cayenne pepper, I'm not sure, for these toes and cuffs. And so I decided to knit myself another pair of Christmas socks in 2019. And that's where I'm coming to the Secret Santa. I got this beautiful project bag, which is handmade, and she did some cross stitching for it. Just one more row. Made in Essen in 2019. And I got a beautiful skein of yarn. This is a colorway. This is what is left from it. It's from Stricken and Sew, which means knitting at the zoo. Jenny dyed it herself, and this is a special colorway, Wichteln 2019, which means Secret Santa 2019, So she dyed the sock yarn especially for a Secret Santa event at the knitting group. And I knew I need to knit me a pair of socks from them. So I choose this one, the Vintage Fairy Light Socks by Curious Handmade. It's patterned by Helen Stewart. And I just needed 1.5 weeks to knit this pair of socks. I'm knitting all my socks 2 at a time on a circular knitting needle. So this is the pair of socks I knit. So here are the Vintage Fairy Lights directly underneath the cuff. Then there's a nice ribbing. I decided to don't knit the ribbing until starting the toes. I let them softly drift off so that I had some stockinette before knitting the toes. But I think these are really beautiful. The colorway is just perfect for the pattern, I think. And yeah, so you can see a bit of more of the Vintage Fairy Lights. Now I can wear them. I've shown them to the knitting group on Friday. We had a New Year's meeting from our knitting group, and I showed them around, and I showed them to Jenny, who dyed the yarn, and now I've shown them to you too, and I can wear them. So 2 pairs of Christmas socks for me. And there are some more in the future, aren't there? Yes, there are. So that's what I did in 2019. So now is the new year. We have the year 2020. I have made some resolutions and plans. I'm staying for the resolution to only buy within Europe and Germany. It was very good for me last year, so I'm trying to do it again this year. That is something different for this resolution, as the UK is planning on leaving the European Union. So I just ordered some project bags from the UK, and I'm not sure if this will be the last time I did this, or if there will be the chance to get more project bags or yarns from there in the future without needing to use the customs order service. So let's see what will be happening. But there are so many other beautiful yarn dyers, and so we'll see. Another thing I did was I made a knitting plan for 2020. So just short. So I did, this is for example January. I wrote up what plans I have for this month with some space, so there can always be an extra or some things that won't be done. But for January I have the plan to finish some whips that I started within the last years. And then the third column is for the things I did in this month. And as you can see, I finished the Vintage Fairy Light socks this year. I finished them on January 1st, so they are my first finished object. And so I did this plan for the whole year, for all 12 months. I've written some things for every month. We'll see how I tackle them. There are also the yarn festivals I'd like to attend, and I wrote up the Jorge Folk Call in hope that it will start in September again, because I really liked it, and there are some plans for this car. If it will happen, then I noted that October will be happening. October is just a thing that happens every year, so I will knit a pair of socks hopefully for October again. So wait, my fingers are just not how I like them. So yeah, that's what I did as plans and resolutions. Then I got some books and magazines which I'd like to use for my knitting this year. The beautiful socks books by Stine und Stitch. So I'd like to try some stranded knitting, some more stranded knitting, and not just finishing the umbrella sweater by Jorge Locatelli, but also to knit some stranded socks and more stranded hats. I also, one moment, I will show them to you. These are the books. Socks book, Family and Friends, and Sock Look, hats, loops, and more. So these three are just lying next to me to inspire me. Then I got Strange Brew. It's just a beautiful full pattern book by Tinker Knits on this stranded pullovers to get me some more inspiration for knitting. Stranded pullovers, maybe hats too. Then I got me this book, Finnish Socks. It's by a Finnish author and has some really beautiful patterns. Not just for 4-ply socks, but only for also for 6 and 8-ply socks, so really warm socks. Yeah, I hope to knit some of these too. And then I got all the Lane magazines. These are just the numbers 1 to 3, but I've got all 9 of them, and there are so many beautiful patterns in this, or in them. I am really in love with them. I can't decide which to knit first, but I don't need to do them all instantly. Right now I'm waiting for the sock book that will be released in February, which Lane magazine is printing, promoting, however, with 52 socks patterns. 52! Can you believe it? For every week in the year. So I can't wait to get my hands on them. Okay. So what else? Right now. So this is whips, no? For this month. Right now I'm doing the Jan Kemco 2019. This is how far I am. Yesterday evening I started with the second pattern, so I finished 1/3 of the Jan Kemco. The yarns for this are Joya by Lana Grossa. Here's the tag, and these are the colors. See them? Yeah. So it's a green, brown, orange, and yellow. And the second yarn for this is Ecopuno by Lana Grossa, and this beautiful orange copper colorway. It's from cotton and merino and alpaca. So I can't wait to finish it. I think it will be really, really beautiful, and I will be knitting a second one, Joya, and this colorways, and Ecopuno in this colorway. So this side is better. One moment. So these two. This will be the second Yarn Camp Girl 2019. But that's for the future. Just finishing this whip first, because January is for whips. This is a project bag. It's living in some funny, beautiful alpacas. It's by Gibbiroo Suze. Can find her on Etsy. Then I'd like to tackle these socks. I've used some silver payette yarn for the cuff. There are some pearls. The yarn has some glitter in it, and the pattern for these is the gecko socks, and the colorway is called, oh my god, the colorway of this yarn, one moment, is Zaun Eidechsen glitter. So it's a gecko reference. The yarn is by Frau Odersocker. So I wish to tackle these socks next. These are the rockais I'm using in green and yellow. It's a crochet hook in 0.75 millimeters. Just a really fine crochet hook. And yeah, there are some cables in this pattern too. So just a lot to do, but also a lot of fun. And then I started these socks. The colorway is Besenflug, which means oh, I don't know, I forgot. We will try some oh, broom flight. I'm too sorry. Broom flight. Sometimes my brain just forgets the correct English words. Broom flight. The pattern will have some beautiful brooms. And another colorway I'd like to knit up is this one. It's called Witch's Brew. And the pattern will have some cauldrons. So, but that's for the future. As you can see, I didn't start with these socks. I just started the broom flight colorway. So, yeah, that's what I have to show you. So just some plans for the future. For this month, just finishing WIPs, and for next month, some socks that I have in mind since nearly 2 years. Oh, I'm too sorry. And to tackle the pullover, the umbrella sweater. Something else? I'm not sure. I'll think. No, I think that's it. Okay. Just my t-shirt. It's fun being bad. Some Disney villains. Maleficent, Ursula, and the Bad Queen. I'm not sure. From Snow White. Yeah. I think that's it. I hope you liked this episode. We are just over 50 minutes, so I think it's okay. I hope to see you again soon. I won't predict the next time I'm recording an episode. I hope to do it in 2 weeks, but you know, life and such. Yeah, that's episode 1 for 2020. I hope you liked it. Maybe you'd like to comment on this episode. Do you have any New Year's resolution for the knitting or other crafty things, or just for life? Any plans for this year? Will you visit some yarn festivals or other crafty festivals? Can you recommend me some hand dyers, yarn dyers from Germany or from the European Union? Some yarns you really like. I always like stock yarn or DK, nothing too thick. Yeah, so these are my questions. Maybe you'd like to answer them. You can comment down below on this video. You can write to me on Instagram. There will be a post for this new episode. You can comment under this post, or you can write to me on Ravelry. Here's my tag again. I'm Michaela Luna there. So that's for today. Just under 55 minutes for this podcast. Yeah! So have a nice day. Thanks for watching again. I hope you liked this episode. See you next time.